So Kenji, it's a great honor to thank you for coming all the way from Japan. Give him a big round of applause. Yeah. 20 hours and he's still looking fresh. So So I'm really happy to have you here and really looking forward to what you have to say. Over to you.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Daniel, for the nice introduction. I just wanted to show you our plushie for Agile Energix, which my Japanese friend Minami-san made for us. Actually, she made one plushie for Andre, but Andre, unfortunately, he had to leave. But I appreciate the Free Madeira team inviting me to this wonderful event. For me, it's my first time coming to Portugal. I love the country. I'm enjoying this conference. Who knows Japanese food, tempura? Yes, Portugal gave Japan tempura. Today, Japan will return an idea of transforming wasted energy into value. And I need to check my translator into Portugal. Portugal deu ao Japão a tempura. Hoje, o Japão quer devolver uma ideia, transformar energia desperdiçada em valor. Obrigado. So, creating an anti-fragile energy infrastructure using Bitcoin mining. And so a little bit of my background. I did my bachelor's and master's in nuclear engineering, joined Tokyo Electric Power Company in 1996. I still work for the same company. I've been trying to transform TEPCO, the large, old, slow-moving, bureaucratic dinosaur, but I'm recorded, so I have to stop here. But anyway, 3 attempts. I started my career as a nuclear safety engineer, as Daniel mentioned. First, developing next-generation nuclear reactors, collaborating with companies like General Electric, Toshiba, and Hitachi. In the early 2000s, there was this big US energy company called Enron that came into the Japanese power market. Enron tried to take over Japanese utilities, and I thought the TEPCO management was not up to the task in fending off Enron. I heard that the Enron executives had this thing called an MBA, which I did not know back then. I searched what it was. I decided I should get one myself. So I luckily got into Stanford, got my MBA. The first attempt to transform TEPCO was to propose this Segway sharing business, Segway, the two-wheel electric vehicle. It wasn't selling well because it was very expensive. So I proposed this sharing mechanism of Segways, which made sense for TEPCO because it runs on electricity. But the TEPCO management couldn't grasp the concept, so they denied my proposal, which is okay. So then I made an internal career switch from the nuclear division to the international division of TEPCO, and I tried to convince TEPCO to get into the US nuclear new build project in the early 2000s. In Texas, there was a project to build 2 nuclear reactors, and the Americans decided to introduce a Japanese-designed nuclear reactor, which TEPCO had co-developed. So I spearheaded the project, actually convinced the TEPCO management to sign a deal to make TEPCO the first Japanese utility to invest in the international nuclear project. But unfortunately, the Fukushima nuclear accident happened. I was deep into the response. Went into the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear site 3 weeks into the accident. This is me in front of the crippled nuclear reactor, Unit 3. And as a nuclear safety engineer, I had to think how we could prevent similar accidents from happening in the future. But by definition, black swan events, you cannot predict what could happen in the future. So therefore, I first read the book Black Swan by Nassim Taleb, and Taleb talked about black swan events, but it was a frustrating book because he didn't give any answers how to cope with black swan events. Then Taleb came up with a sequel book called Antifragile, and he said the answer is written in this book. So I was forced to buy this book, Antifragile, and it didn't talk about nuclear antifragility, but it gave me the concept of not trying to make things just robust. Robust is not enough. You have to make the system anti-fragile so that if there's an external shock, the system becomes even stronger. So since then, I've been thinking about how to make nuclear power plants anti-fragile. Obviously, it's very difficult, but applying that concept to company like TEPCO, how to make TEPCO anti-fragile, and also the Japanese energy infrastructure anti-fragile, and that led to my Bitcoin mining business, and I'll talk about why Bitcoin mining will make the energy infrastructure anti-fragile. So Japan's energy sector, this is busy, so I won't go into too much detail, but because Japan self-sufficient ratio is only 15%, it's a very fragile system. And Japan is highly dependent on imported fossil fuel, which doesn't sound very good nowadays geopolitically. So this Black Swan thing, I've been thinking how to make the Japanese energy infrastructure anti-fragile, not just introducing renewable energy, because as all of you know, there are pros and cons of renewable. Right now, the Japanese infrastructure is in the bottom left quadrant, mostly centralized, fossil fuel dependent, large power generations. We have to diversify and go up to the top right quadrant as well, diverse, small distributed, and various energy infrastructures. But it's difficult to sustain such diversified, small distributed energy infrastructures just by considering the supply side. We have to think about the demand side, which Bitcoin mining comes into play. Again, these are very busy slides, but you can download my presentation later on. But starting from 2011, when the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear accident happened, the Japanese government has pushed for more renewable, which is important. And in Japan, it's primarily solar power. And solar power curtailment started to happen in 2018. Too much solar power during the daytime when there's not much demand, so curtailment has to happen. And in the future, if Japan wants to achieve carbon neutrality, there has to be even more renewable energy in the system, which will force more curtailment to happen. And it's not just curtailment, but grid congestion is becoming a big issue. Japanese transmission and distribution companies are forced to invest hundreds of billions of dollars to enhance the grid capacity to send the renewable resources from rural parts of Japan to central part of Japan like Tokyo and Osaka. I'll skip this, but in the more distributed localized area, congestion is becoming a big issue, especially TEPCO Paragrid, my parent company. The pink shaded area is congested areas where the utilities are forced, it's mandatory for the utilities to upgrade the distribution system in order to accommodate any renewable resources connected to the grid. So it's a lot of capex is necessary, which will eventually have to be passed down to the ratepayers. And that's where this Bitcoin mining thing, which I named it megawatt to mega hash, converting megawatts into mega hash. Back in the days, we counted mega hashes. Now it's like, what is it, petahash and exahash and whatever hashes. But anyway, so as all of you know, we can convert electricity to Bitcoin using Bitcoin miners through this proof of concept. And so this converting variable energy into digital gold, I came up with this idea 2018 when, as I mentioned, curtailment of renewable power started in Japan. And at that time, my day-to-day job was nuclear, but there was this TEPCO in-house program to train future TEPCO executives. And the task was to come up with an innovative new business idea to save TEPCO from the aftermath of the Fukushima nuclear accident. And I volunteered to be part of this training program, and I was thinking what to propose. And that's when curtailment of renewable power started. Nobody knew how to solve the issue. And at the same time, what happened in 2018 was the Bitcoin bubble burst. So in the Japanese media, mainstream media, people were saying it's the end of Bitcoin, it's a fad, it's a Ponzi scheme. And at the same time, it's bad for the environment because this power guzzler Bitcoin mining machine is wasting electricity. So I thought, oh, that's a bad thing. I should stay away from Bitcoin and Bitcoin mining. But I thought, wait a minute. In Japan, we're wasting renewable energy, and this Bitcoin mining machine, maybe it's a power guzzler, but if we use wasted renewable energy, it may be good for the environment, and it may save TEPCO. So I proposed this business plan of using Bitcoin mining to consume wasted renewable energy, and made this presentation to the TEPCO management, and nobody understood what I was saying. And everyone thought I was crazy, and they tried to politely convince me to do your day-to-day job nuclear stuff. And I said, thank you very much, but I pushed the idea for 2 more years while I was doing my day-to-day nuclear job. And after 2 years, I was finally allowed to make an internal transition from the nuclear division to TEPCO Power Grid, the transmission and distribution arm of TEPCO, in 2020. So since July of 2020, as a full-time job, I was paid to do the Bitcoin mining stuff. I had to start small in an office where nobody was seeing, and like a dozen of Bitcoin miners, and gradually convinced the TEPCO management, this is not a Ponzi scheme. This is a convenient device that can convert electricity into digital money, and it can solve many electrical power issues. And this is a 100 kilowatt proof of concept in a 20-foot container. It provides a positive effect to the grid system. And but still, there were skepticism. So I increased the amount to a megawatt scale in 2022. This is still within the Tokyo Electric Power Company organization. This is 1.5 megawatt, 1,300 Bitcoin miners. TEPCO didn't allow me to make this public. It's publicly open information, but not like sensational press release, so not many people know. But at this time, within the TEPCO organization, I spearheaded a project and had a 1.5 megawatt Bitcoin mining facility, mining Bitcoin within TEPCO. So in the TEPCO balance sheet, for the first time in the history of Japanese utility, there was Bitcoin on the balance sheet. And the people from the corporate headquarters told me, don't mine Bitcoin. We don't want Bitcoin on our balance sheet. But I had to tell them it's perfectly legal. And so there is a precedent for the largest utility in Japan having Bitcoin on the balance sheet. So it can be done. Thank you. But people within the TEPCO organization told me, like, how certain are you in having Bitcoin mining solve the energy issue or the grid issue? And I said, pretty certain. And they told me, pretty certain is not enough. How many nines after 99.999% are you certain? And I'm like, of course not. But we have to, I told them, like, let me set up a company within TEPCO, because if I'm part of the big TEPCO organization, there are too many constraints. And they allowed me to set up this company in August 2022, which is like a miracle. The dinosaur TEPCO allowed me to set up Agile Energy X as a 100% subsidiary, using Bitcoin mining as one of the solutions to solve energy issues. So it can be done. And we teamed up with a Japanese semiconductor fabless company called 111. They're not very well known. They keep a low profile, but they have developed their original Bitcoin mining ASIC chip a few years ago. They have the capability. So they are one of our strategic partners. And we have been doing various projects with 111. The first small, modest project, but like a big step forward for Japan is August 2023. We started mining Bitcoin using solar power, which was not able to be connected to the grid due to grid congestion. And so based on the flexibility of solar power generation, automatically and remotely, Bitcoin miners were able to follow the supply of solar power and convert all of the solar power into Bitcoin. And for all of you, it's quite obvious. But in Japan, it had a big meaning to actually show people this can be done using this dumb computer Bitcoin miner. It can do good for the society. Also, another similar 50 kilowatt small scale but also meaningful proof of work was to solve the grid congestion issue. So this facility draws electricity directly from the distribution line, which is congested. So we were able to demonstrate that when the distribution line in this area is congested, we can remotely start up the Bitcoin miners and absorb the excess power and solve the grid congestion. And we were part of the Japanese government funded R&D program, and the Japanese government organization actually wrote that Bitcoin mining is an effective tool to solve grid congestion. But just mining Bitcoin using either curtailed power or solving grid congestion, it is important, but for the lay people, it's not, it doesn't resonate with the lay people. So I came up with this idea, ultimate circular economy, which I named, starting from stranded renewable energy. We first mine Bitcoin, and as we have been talking this morning, use waste heat to heat the greenhouse, which houses aquaponics in our case. So hydroculture and aquaculture and hydroponics combination. It's a circular agriculture where if you feed a fish and the fish waste is pumped up to the vegetable and the bacteria decomposes the fish waste into nitrate, which becomes natural fertilizer. The vegetable purifies the water and the fish is healthy. And also you can make the fish food circular by using food waste and having the insect larva decompose the food waste, and the insect larva becomes fish food. So it's a circular agriculture, but it doesn't stop there. Another use of Bitcoin mining waste heat can be used by combining it with direct air capture. So direct air capture, you absorb the CO2 from the atmosphere, but in the process of recovering the CO2, you need heat or energy. And it doesn't make sense to heat the direct air capture burning fossil fuel, obviously. So we want to use renewable power generate mining and the waste heat to heat the direct air capture system to capture the CO2. After you capture the CO2 with this direct air capture, the industry norm is to just bury it underground and pretend it didn't happen before. But it's okay, it's carbon negative or neutral, but I wanted to create direct value from the CO2 that we capture with direct air capture. So again, two ways to use the CO2. One is obviously to feed it to the vegetables, which will promote photosynthesis. But another kind of crazy idea is there's this technology called molten salt electrolysis, where in the molten salt, so if you heat salt up to several hundred degrees Celsius, it melts and becomes a very effective electrolyte. And you can melt or dissolve CO2 in the molten salt. And if you electrolyze the CO2 or carbonate ion in the molten salt, you get oxygen gas and carbon. And carbon can easily become graphite, so black powder, which is quite valuable. You can use it for battery parts. But you can also, if you use a certain electrode, you get microdiamonds when you electrolyze CO2 in a molten salt. And it has been published in a reputable academic paper from a professor at Kyoto University, which I know him very well. I actually, my specialty when I was at Kyoto University was molten salt electrolysis, so I was quite familiar with the technology. I didn't know we could make diamonds out of it. It's still microscopic, so you need a microscope to see it, but we can actually create diamonds out of CO2, which originated from the waste heat from the Bitcoin miner, which originated from wasted renewable energy. So this total system, ultimate circular economy, I have been telling people that it's a portable and distributed energy resource. And this person in the center, he's the mayor of a small town in Saitama Prefecture. And the mayor liked this idea so much, he invited us to put this small demonstration site in the town hall of Misato town in Saitama Prefecture. And then the mayor of Yokohama, the big city Yokohama, liked this idea and asked us to present this concept, ultimate circular economy, at a big event 2 years ago. And then actually next year, there's this big green expo in Yokohama, which is a big one, like millions of people coming from all over the world. And we were asked by the city of Yokohama to present our idea at the green expo as well. But these are just demonstration. We're not making money out of this. Sometime in the near future, we have to make money. But the closest one is in Hokkaido, the northern island of Japan. And at the northern tip, there's this town called Toyotomi, where they have stranded gas. Natural gas, they're not even vented. There's no demand. And I called up the city hall 2 years ago and told them, we are a company called Agile Energy X. We're using Bitcoin mining. We're not a Ponzi scheme company, please believe me. And we can monetize your wasted gas by generating power, and on site use Bitcoin mining to monetize it. And again, the mayor loved the concept so much. And but it's not just mining Bitcoin, but the concept of ultimate circular economy, using wasted energy, converting into Bitcoin, but also using waste heat to grow vegetables and fish, and also capture CO2 and potentially making diamonds, and which resonates with this the mayor, because this town also, they are struggling with aging population, young people leaving the town because it's not attractive, there's no business. But having this concept, which is very interesting and good for the environment, good for educational purposes, they like it so much. And I brought some young college students from Tokyo to have help me convince the local people this is good for the local community. So actually, tomorrow morning, I'm going to leave Portugal, Lisbon, and go back to Tokyo. And on the same day, I'm going to fly up to Toyotomi to meet with the mayor and talk about how we can make this into real business. And also, there's this place called Tokyo Bitcoin Base in the central part of Tokyo. Again, this is not profit for us, but we have a demonstration that we have, and so that visitors can come and see that Bitcoin mining, it's not only for geeks, but it's interesting and it's good for children's education and so forth. Okay, so this, let me think. So 2 models. In the morning, there were presentations about various business models. In Japan, there is a possibility of grid stabilization and balancing. But the first model, it's straightforward, using curtailed renewable power and mine Bitcoin. Model 2, maybe this is specific for Japan, but the grid operators are forced to expand the grid in order to accommodate all renewable power. But Bitcoin mining can allow the utilities to reduce their necessity to upgrade the grid system, which will lead to cost reduction. And there's a potential for profit sharing for the reduced cost. And there's a lot of upside market potential, but the regulation is not in place to allow utilities to pay companies like us for the value that we bring, not only to the utility, but for the ratepayers. So we have to convince the government, but in order to convince the government, it helps not just by telling them how great Bitcoin mining is, but going back, how this will help the local community, but also solve the energy issues as well and lead to lower power costs. So it's taking time, but gradually we have been successful in convincing influential people in the government sector, utility sector, and so forth, but it's taking some time. Okay, so we are Agile Energetics green transformation, digital transformation. We're not just Bitcoin mining, and Bitcoin is important, but for us, solving energy issues, solving the community issues by using Bitcoin, but combining Bitcoin mining with other solutions as well, which has helped us gain a lot of traction and having a lot of support. So that's one potential path forward that I wanted to share with you. And lastly, okay, so this is like a project portfolio, both active and pipeline projects. Actually, this morning, I was talking with our summer interns from the Indian Institute of Technology. Some of you may know, but the IIT is well known for the very smart students. And last year, I was asked to potentially host summer interns from IIT. And I said, like, I'm struggling to manage my Japanese members. I don't think I can manage Indian interns. But I gave it a try and did a Zoom session to talk about our company, and we had 300 applications from IIT. And I had to down select to 6, and then we did a summer intern for 6 members and chose 2 to join our company this year. And again, I was asked by why not another summer intern this year, and I said, well, maybe that's too much. But again, I did a presentation, and we already have like 250 applications for this year. I'm thinking, but what I'm trying to say is the Indian smart students are not only interested in Bitcoin mining, but they are attracted to our business of combining various solutions, but Bitcoin mining being one of it. So that's that. And one thing. So Iyo in Hokkaido, another different city, Bibai city in Hokkaido, there's a Iyo farm, and the CEO of this Iyo farm asked me to bring some Bitcoin miners to help him heat the pool of Iyo. And they had to burn kerosene to heat it because Hokkaido is a cold area. So rather than burning kerosene for the boilers to heat the Iyo, use at least electricity, but not just simple electric heaters, but why not mine Bitcoin? So we're mining a little bit of Bitcoin, just a little bit of Bitcoin, but primarily heat for the Iyo farm. So again, that's an interesting story that many people want to hear about. Okay, so lastly, so today is an AI era. So I asked AI to come up with a company song for Agile Energetics. So it's a 3-minute song, but please listen to it.
Know the future's bright, the horizon calls. We're building foundations, breaking down walls. Stranded energy, yeah, we flip that might. Turn it to power, keep the future in sight. Agile Energy X, we innovate the game. Optimizing grids, bringing bills to tame. Circular economy, we lead, create. Shaping the earth, yeah, we own our fate. Bitcoin mining, yeah, shining the way. Aquaponics growing, life's new display. DAC stands tall, fighting climate's fight. Balancing the earth, keeping hope in sight. Agile Energy X, we innovate the game. Optimizing grids, bringing bills to tame. Circular economy, we lead, create. Shaping the earth, yeah, we own our fate. Molten salt tech, diamonds take form. Strong and steady, we weather the storm. Laying down dreams, our vision unfolds. Together we ride where the future holds. Agile Energy X, we innovate the game. Agile Energy X, the future is here.
Thank you. And thank you very much. I look forward to working with all of you to make the world a better place using Bitcoin mining.